Hey everyone, Shikubi here. Welcome to Legion TD2, where strategy, unit placement, and resource management make all the difference. Today, we're diving into the basics of this addictive tower defense game, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know to get started. So let's break down the core mechanics. In Legion TD2, your job is simple: defend your king. But how do you do that? By building fighters that protect your lane from waves of enemies called creeps, while also sending mercenaries to pressure your opponents. Think of it as a mix between a tower defense game and a real-time strategy battle. Winning in Legion TD2 is all about making sure your king survives longer than your enemy's king. You'll need to balance between defending your lane and sending attacks at the right time to overwhelm your opponents. Mastering the game comes down to three things. 1. Defense, building fighters to block enemy waves. 2. Offense, sending mercenaries to attack your opponents. 3. Economy, managing your gold and workers effectively. As waves of creeps come at you, your fighters will hold them off. But you also need to send mercenaries to attack your opponents. Each mercenary you send gives you more income, and the more income you have, the stronger you can build your defense and offense. Here's how it works. You earn income by sending mercenaries. That income translates into more gold every round, which you'll use to build stronger units and upgrade your economy. Striking the right balance between sending units and defending your base is key to winning. In Legion TD2, each unit and wave has a specific armor type and attack type. Understanding how these interact is key to making smart decisions when defending against waves and positioning your units for maximum effectiveness. Medium armor, weak against, normal attacks 120% effectiveness, meaning medium armor takes more damage from normal attacks. Strong against, magic attacks 80% effectiveness, meaning it takes reduced damage from magic. Light armor, weak against, pierce attacks 130% effectiveness. Strong against, siege attacks 90% effectiveness. Heavy armor, weak against, magic attacks 120% effectiveness. Strong against, pierce attacks 80% effectiveness. Fortified armor, weak against, siege attacks. Strong against normal, pierce, and magic attacks unarmored. Neutral defenses, 100% effectiveness across the board. Understanding these interactions can turn the tide in your favor, especially during later waves. For example, if you're facing waves with heavy armored units, bring in magic damage to counter them effectively. Likewise, against buildings or fortified armor, prioritize siege damage units. In Legion TD2, units fall into different categories based on their role in battle. Here's a breakdown. Tanks. Tanks are your frontline defenders, designed to absorb damage and protect your more vulnerable units. Tanks typically have heavy armor or fortified armor, meaning they can take a beating from normal or siege attacks, while resisting pierce and magic. DPS, damage per second. These units deal constant, high output damage and are usually placed behind your tanks. They may have light or unarmored armor, making them vulnerable, but capable of outputting tremendous damage over time. Supports. Support units buff your allies or debuff your enemies. They may heal, provide shields, or increase attack speed, ensuring your other units survive longer or deal more damage. One of the most important aspects of Legion TD2 is building synergies between your units. Unit positioning can make a big difference in your strategy. Here's how to optimize your layout. Frontline tanks. Your tanks should be positioned in the front to soak up incoming damage. Make sure they're placed in such a way that they protect your more vulnerable backline units. Backline DPS. Keep your DPS units in the back or middle to ensure they have time to deal damage without being directly targeted by enemies. Keep them behind your tank for maximum efficiency. Flanking support. If you have support units, consider placing them off to the side or just behind your DPS. This will ensure they aren't the first to be targeted, but can still contribute to healing or buffing your team. One of the most crucial strategies in Legion TD2 is adaptation. You can't rely on the same unit composition every game. Here's how to be flexible. Always take a look at the enemy's build. You can do it when the duel round after round 10 and 20. If they're focusing on a specific armor or attack type, counter it. For example, if your opponent is using a lot of piercing attacks, send mercenaries at the wave that have heavy armor will perform better. Use the game's preview function to see upcoming waves and adjust accordingly. Just type info. For instance, if you see a siege-heavy wave coming up, consider build tower with magic attack and don't build 40 armor tank. That wraps up today's episode. Remember, every game of Legion TD2 is different, and the key to victory is not just the units you choose, but how you use them. Stay flexible, build strong synergies, and always adapt to the enemy's strategy.